back in the garage today to take a look at my 1967 Camaro. This was a car that I used to dream about as a kid, 13, 14 years old, looking at hot rod magazines, muscle car mag, Super Chevy magazine. I had no idea back then why the car was produced, the competition basically for the Ford Mustang. All I knew is that it was a really good looking car and I wanted one. I ended up getting this one about maybe 10, 12 years ago. It wasn't in this good a shape when I got it. From a distance it did look pretty good, but yeah, the paint was nowhere near where it is today. It had no power, or a pretty weak engine, and automatic transmission that I've swapped out now to a 4-speed just to make it a lot more fun to drive. So yeah, let me take you around this car from the tires to the top. I'll pop the hood for you, I'll show you the interior. And yeah, sorry, it is winter where I'm at right now, so I cannot take it for a drive. But wait till the end and I'll have a few videos of some donuts and burnouts, that kind of thing. Stuff we can't do today. Let's start with the paint. The paint was originally a Marina blue, one of the more popular colors for that year. But it is now what would have been called a tuxedo black, and it has the SS Bumblebee stripe in white. Yeah, the other colors that were popular in those years was like Granada gold and ermine white, butternut yellow. Black wasn't produced in high numbers, but I think a lot of guys over the years have done the color change, like what's been done on this car. Rear spoiler, front spoiler. It's got the SS emblems and the RS hideaway headlights. Wheels and tires are GM Rally rims with the beauty rings and center caps, 67 specific center caps. Newer Rally rims that are a lot wider than what would have come in 67, and they have BFG radial TAs on them. Frame and body underneath is in really good shape. That there is a subframe connector connecting the subframe up front unibody to the rear, and some old school traction bars. I also put in multi-leaf pack in this in 67. It only came with a single leaf, which was problematic, especially when you put in a bit more power. And I have upgraded this from a pretty mild 350 engine to around 400 horsepower. So it did need a few upgrades on the suspension end of things. And inside the car, to show you the interior, it's the standard interior package, pretty plain Jane. Two options at the time were standard and deluxe. Deluxe had molded door panels and a few other luxuries, some sail panel, interior lights, that kind of thing. This has the tack. Also has the console gauges. That's the 4-speed. Really nice SS 350 deluxe steering wheel. The pedals I've got in here are some aftermarket low car pedals, so they don't quite conform to the original look of the vehicle. Door panels, seat covers, everything's in really good shape. Really fun car to drive with the 4-speed. Very raw. It's a lot of power in a fairly light car. No traction control. Not a lot of luxuries. Stereo is an aftermarket stereo. It's actually a electronic stereo. It looks like an AM/FM radio, but it also has USB connectivity. Headliner's in wonderful shape. Here's the engine. It is a Chevy 350 with aluminum Edelbrock heads, dual 4-barrel Edelbrock intake manifold, headers, MSD ignition. When we built the motor, it dynoed at about 395 horse and 455 torque. It does have a Holley fuel pump instead of the mechanical fuel pump, and a Holley fuel regulator there, or a gas regulator. Transmission when I got the vehicle was just a Chevy Turbo 350. I ended up putting in a Muncie M21 4-speed just to make it a lot more fun to drive. Power steering, power brakes, no air conditioning. It does have a high performance aluminum 4-core rad, which helps keep it nice and cool on hot days. I'll set the camera down and I'll go turn on these headlights for you to see how the hidden headlight doors actuate. Yeah, those are a little noisy. I do have electric motors on them in 67. They were electric before they switched to pneumatic controlled hideaway headlights in 68 and 69. But I replaced those electric motors and actuators, so they're a little noisy. Let me grab the keys here and I'll pop the trunk. While I'm back here, another feature of the RS Camaros at 67 were the solid red tail lights with the separate backup lights in the bottom there. The non-RS cars had integrated backup lights into the tail lights, a little bit different. Nice and clean in here. Some cleaning products, some original style pedal covers that I'm going to put on, get rid of those fancy low car pedals. Original shop manual, which I've used this a lot, especially for some of the electrical rewiring and stuff like that. Pretty handy. Just as old as the car. My front plate, which I don't have on. I do have a carpet kit in here just to make it a little bit nicer and deaden some of the tin noise. Really good solid steel, no rust. Okay, let's fire this thing up. Pretty noisy, pretty lumpy as well. Okay, enough choking on exhaust fumes and unburnt fuel. I'll show you some pictures of what it looks like outside and show you some low resolution videos I've taken of doing burnouts over the last 10 years.